And welcome back. It is Wednesday morning. I'm Ryan, Tokyo Fun Hunter, coming at you from Tokyo, Japan. So, today, I wanted to do another news segment. And I got a pretty free warning today, and it's raining outside, so why not? Let's keep it going. So, current news topics, and this is kind of where we discuss kind of current trends happening in Japan, current news topics, things that might be on your radar screen that you're not yet aware of. And just also kind of like saying what's going on and my impression of it and what's kind of going down. Excuse me. It's still a little bit of allergy season, so I got a little bit of allergies, and yeah. So allergy season, my God. That's not what I was gonna do, but I just wanted to comment on this. I don't know what it is, but for like when you're in Japan, you first come to Japan, you do not get I don't have my pen there. You do not get allergies for like 2 or 3 years. This happened to me. And then all of a sudden, like your 4th or 5th year, boom, it hits you. It hits you right across the face. And you just are like eyes watering, everything. It's terrible. So that's not what the news story is, but I thought, just comment on that. I think there's a few previous podcasts where I'm like, sniffling and stuff like that. And I try to stay away from medication, but allergy seems to be the only time in the year where I'm like, you know what? I'll just take it because I don't want to suffer through this anymore. Anyway, so on to the news topic. Today we are talking about a recent story that is actually not Japanese originated. It's from China, but it is part of the Asian culture. And I've had a few friends actually comment on this, which was very interesting. And there was a recent video talking about what's called leftover women. And it's a serious topic where leftover women means that after a certain age in many cultures in Asia, women are people think there's something wrong with these girls who are not fitting in with maybe a family. They're not yet married. They're not yet committing to kind of the family idea, or maybe career-wise. Actually, I'm gonna scratch that. For guys, it's career-wise. For girls, it's relationship-wise. And this was originally a ad that ran in China, where they talked about this older woman who's like, if she's like 32, she's leftover women. We're leftover women, and it's really heartbreaking because it gives it forces a lot of women, a lot of girls, to hurry and get into a relationship and get married and start a family right away in their earlier late 20s. And I know this is China, but to be honest, you see a lot of similarities with Japan. And I wanted to comment where I have a few friends that are literally freaked out. They're freaked out about this. And I'm 28 when I'm recording this, so a lot of my friends are in that impact zone where after around 30 years old, and this is Japanese culture, after about 30, there's a lot more societal pressure. There's a lot more pressure in terms of career, in terms of family, in terms of just kind of starting your life. And I wanted to kind of comment on this because it's really not fair. It's a shame. It's a shame. People think that after 30, life is over. My approach is life is just getting warmed up. So let's kind of comment today about kind of Japan and its current things. So my personal experience is I was in a recent relationship where the girl was a little older than me. She was over 30, and she was having a lot of societal pressure in terms of career and family. And I don't know, but I think that was a big difference because I didn't know if I was going to be staying in Japan that much. And it was kind of like, the line in the sand where she moved on because of that societal pressure. And she's not the only one, one I've dated, but like a lot of friends of mine are in that zone right now where they're getting freaked out. They're getting literally freaked out. They're stressing themselves out about turning 30 because they feel there's a lot of societal pressure. So if you're a girl in Japan, you're going to see a lot more of the current trends. Now, if you're outside of Tokyo, people get married a lot younger. And there's still arranged marriages in Japan. A lot of people don't know this. There's still arranged marriages. But if you're inside Tokyo, usually it's going to be around the 27 to 30 range, where now there's way more women looking for a partner, looking to get married. And that's sometimes usually themselves, but I have a feeling it's mostly cultural and family. So the thing about independence and big cultural difference with America and Japan is that America, when you become an adult, when you become is called being independent. You're self-independent. It means you can financially support yourself. You kind of move away from the not move away from the family, but move. You can financially support yourself. You're helping yourself with your career goals, family, everything. That's kind of like what really becoming an adult in kind of like Western culture is about. In Eastern culture, it's really about you're now more independent to help the family. You can serve the family a lot more. It's culturally family oriented, and they always do this in a system. How much can you give back to your family, to your company, to your community, to your country? All these things. That's really the mark of being an adult in Eastern societies. Now, I am a white guy. I'm a Western guy recording this, so I'm saying this from kind of from an outside look. So I hope this doesn't offend anybody. If it does, I'm sorry. It's just my outlook and opinion, and I try to make this appealing to all audiences, but just more aware. So they have this marker where if you're independent in Western societies, you're self-sufficient, and if you're independent in Eastern societies, you're more actually can give back to the community as a whole. And this really comes back to the 30-year-old pressure zone, and people get really freaked out about it. So women usually get freaked out in kind of relationship-wise. They get a lot of pressure from family. There is still a glass ceiling in Japan where a lot more, not every women, but like a lot of women, yeah, can't it is a very male society. It's a and for men it's the opposite. For them it's career wise. If you do not have a stable career, and a stable career is a little bit of a stretch because for them it's about salaryman culture. Not everybody, but the majority. Salaryman culture. When you have a job and you're rising through the ranks, right? That's the mark of he's got it. He's got what it takes. And if you're not employed or if you're not married by the time you're over 30, a lot of people start to wonder why. And this is changing. This is changing in Japan, but slowly, very slowly. You get more, and of course, a lot of that has to do with Western influences, times changing. But yeah, the over 30 marker in Japanese society is kind of pivotal point where a lot of people in their 20s are carefree. When they go to college, it's the first time they're away from home, right? It's the first time they don't have to dress in a uniform. It's the first time they get to do a lot of kind of self-sufficient things. But however, after college, they move back in with their families. And this is a Japanese thing. They move back in their families. Rent is high, rent is tough. Living on your expenses is old. Families support their kids usually until they're married, right? This is amazing. This is a way to people stay out of debt. They can easily find they have a lot of fun. They're able to find a partner, a significant other, and help with their career and can be completely debt free. But this also does mean that there's a little bit more parental pressure when maybe finding a relationship, getting into a marriage, starting a family, but also starting a career. It's kind of like you move back in with your parents. It's the norm here, but there's also like, hey, if you're going to be living here, you abide by our rules. So over the 30 marker, I just wanted to kind of comment on that, where it's a shame because there is a lot more societal pressure. There is a lot more influence where, I have a few friends who they're really worried. One of my friends is 35, and he recently broke up. And 35 to him, he was like, what's going to happen? How am I going to survive? What are people going to think? How is this going to reflect on my job? I'm like, how does your job have anything to do with your relationship? Is like, and he was really clear. They're both interconnected. So anyway, I wanted to kind of give some insights on that, where kind of the 30 marker is that pivotal point. This is changing in Japan. It really is sad. It really is sad that people are putting themselves under so much pressure for no reason. I know tons of couples that didn't start until their mid 30s that are super happy. But yeah, a lot of the things that has pressures in terms of like family, health, finance, kind of spill over into those categories, and they're all interconnected. And your work makes a big part of who you identify with in Japan. Now this is beginning to change, but it is something that I thought was very interesting about the culture. Anyway, that's my kind of thoughts on the 30 marker in Japan. I personally think it's not a big deal. Who cares? I know tons of friends that are like in their 30s that are having a great time, that are living it up, and they're just getting started. They're just getting warmed up. So I don't know. Message to Japanese people: don't get freaked out. The best thing you can do is feel good, be patient. Be active, be proactive, but don't put too much pressure on yourself that's non needed. You stress yourself out. It's just wasted energy. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this video has been at least informative, and I appreciate it if you give a comment, give your thoughts and feedback, and check out our other videos online. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks again. Cheers.